How you doing, people? I picked up a real joy this weekend. Now, what this video is going to be about is, and this was a perfect saw for this, so let me retract this a bit. I like an old 44 steel. This is what this is. But when you're going to get a saw from another individual, whether you know them or you don't, how do you make sure you're getting the right saw? Is it going to have the value that you want? Is it going to be something that either A is running, in this case it does run, and it does idle. But there's always the rest of the story. When you buy a saw, you can't take it all apart. You just got to look at the visuals and just take your best guess. I have a lot of experience in this area, and I even get fooled sometimes. So it's a pig in a poke. Buy it accordingly, okay? So when I first seen this saw, I was like, wow, that's kind of a nice little deal. But the first thing, here's what you're looking for. Chain brake flag is gone. It's broke right off, even with the case right here. Right there's the end of it. Okay? And they just finished unbolting it, got rid of it. The second thing I noticed about this handle's bent. It's bent down, actually. And actually, you can see that it's bent back. See, that's supposed to be straight right there underneath the saw. It's bent back. Okay, that's an impact. That took a hard hit from this direction, broke the flag. The handle's bent. Yeah, you probably could straighten that. You probably can't. You got to decide. Me, I just soon have a new handle. And actually, the handles that I've had the best luck with for aftermarket is from Gus at Sawzilla. The ProLine handles have been very good to me. They're economically priced, but they're strong. They're way better than, every other handle I've got. I'm sure there's other ones that are aftermarket good. ProLine handles, highly recommend them. Get a hold of Gus at Sawzilla, and that's where you want to get your handle. So we know we can get a handle. There is a big bash in the front of the muffler. That's probably part of the same thing all at once. That got hit. Okay, so there's damage that I've noticed. Another thing is, it's got the old style gas caps on it. And the one for the gas tank does leak when it's got gas in it. It does leak. So you got that to be contend with. All right, so there's two things. Now, something that I noticed when it was handed to me is oil was just puking out from under this chain side cover, okay? Now these things, just like a car or a house, they all adds up. Saws aren't that bad to work on as far as physically. It's getting the parts. No, what am I dealing with? So this is what you're seeing when you first walk up to the saw. Okay? You can see the oil is running right out from under that clutch. Well, now I'm sure by now there's no oil in the oil tank. And I know if I would put some in, it would just, without it running, just be puking out. It is in the area of the oil pump. It's probably one of them O-rings that seal the oil pump to the tube, or where it seals, oil pump seals to the pickup tube that goes in the oil tank. Okay? Okay, so I know I'm going to need parts there. Now, the beauty of it is, I know I've got to put a chain brake flag on this, okay? And because I know that, I'm going to be right there behind that oil pump, right then, okay? And I might as well pull that oil pump out. Now, something this saw does is it does run, but it's real peaky, and it doesn't want to return RPMs good. It don't settle right down. It goes ring-a-ding-a-ding-a-ding-a-ding on the way down. Okay, air leak. Okay, got an air leak. So I'm going to deal with that. That may be crank seals. It may actually be the carburetor's gummed up and it's just not delivering enough fuel on the low jet, okay? Or both jets. So we're looking at, because of the situation, going through the carburetor, throwing in sonic cleaner after it's all tore apart, cleaning it real good, putting it back together, then we know we got a good carburetor. These had a good carburetor on them, by the way. It could be an intake leak. But because I'm going to take that oil pump off to put seals in it, I might just as well, when I'm right there, put a brand new crank seal on that side. I know what I'm going to do is I'll put a crank seal on both sides, and you just pull a flywheel, change that one. If you're going to change this one, change that one. So this is what, just by visual inspection, this is things I already noticed that I needed to do, okay? So the next thing is body lines. I worry about, it tells me condition of my motor mounts or other things. And if you notice, they don't line up right here. That's quite a step. And that's kind of a thing. And you can see that moves. So that tells me there's something affecting the motor mount in the front. Okay? So when them body lines don't add up, you're looking at motor mounts. At least one. Probably two. Or something more. And we're going to get into that in just a minute. Okay? But this is when you first see the saw. Okay? Bash muffler, handle bent way back. I noticed that. Chain brake flag off. And a major oil leak from the oil pump that feeds the bar. There's 4 things. In most cases, that's not worth buying that saw for any kind of real money. So there's your bargaining chip, okay? That's the way it is. And so now what we got to do, I'm going to turn another light on here. We're getting dark. Yeah, we're all kind of messed up with light, ain't we? Okay. We just got more things to fix. We've been working in the shop, trying to get this place back in order. It's been a couple of years since I've done much out here. And so things have got brought in and left, and you know the deal. So anyways, set my choke. I'm going to pull, and you can do this when you first see the saw. Okay, no flock, no outer flock on the air cleaner. Okay, not a big deal. It is an original steel air cleaner. Okay, gas cap. If I'm going to put a gas cap in, I'm going to put a brand new oil cap too. It's got the early style caps, no big deal. I actually have a 10mm saw that needs these caps. But I know what's wrong is they got a little rubber washer underneath these caps, and it's deteriorated. It isn't sealing. Okay. I could just get a pair of them washers. Most of the stuff you can find on eBay for twice the money it's actually worth, but you can find it. Okay. This is the way it works. Okay. Throttle works. I have choke, depress. I push it up. It's not bound up. A lot of times what you'll see in the steels, but not the Husqvarnas, is this handle is kind of pushed up a bit, and it's been yanked on, and you'll have to pull the screw out of the bottom here, flip this up carefully, and get your throttle mechanism back in order if you can't just flip them back off a choke like this. Okay, it goes to choke to high idle, and then from there, you depress the trigger, and it goes to run. Okay, this is the way they work. People that run Huskies all the time have a little trouble with that switch, but steel people understand. Okay, the winner valve is in this saw still, and what that is let's see if I can get this thing where you can see it. Right here, you could turn that with a screwdriver and open and close it. It's in an open position. That's for wintertime. It puts a little heat toward the carb. In the summertime, you're going to take your little screwdriver in that slot and you're going to turn that to where it's closed. Okay. Now, this is the initial things that I see. Okay, the very first things that I see, because I don't know anything about this saw, and that guy ain't gonna let me take it apart. So that's $100 or $200 saw. Okay, it does run, but it needs work, and so that's what it is. Now, for me, it's got more value than that for two reasons. It's an 044. This part of the gas tank is not broke. But we need to do more inspection, okay? Yeah, lots of oil. I don't know what's worse, buying a saw that's dirtier than heck or one that's super clean. If it was super clean, I would know that oil leak was there unless you put oil in the tank. Always listen to the saw run. If the guy said, I don't have any gas, it's like, okay, there's a $100 bill you just knocked off silently. Don't say a word. If you can't put gas in that and run that for me and you're trying to sell that, that's telling me you know something that I'm going to need to know too. And so the one thing I need to know is, do I have enough compression to start this? Okay, I have started this. Give that pull cord a little bit of a... Okay. This has got good compression. This is fine. Okay. I need to know if I'm going to put these new parts in the saw to try to have a good saw. And now you can do all of this, never working on a saw before. Watch these videos and other people that do the same thing. Because of the age of this saw, I know how old this one is. And you know what I might not do is I might not get that muffler off real easy. Oh, that one broke loose. I got that one. I got to take the muffler off. I'm going to show you. After you've bought the saw, you've negotiated, you say, okay, now let's see what kind of pile or gem that I've got. Okay. This saw looks like it was run by an arborist. I do not think it was run by a logger. I think it was somebody who took trees out of people's yards for a living. That's the earmark. Boy, that's a classic. You see me do that so much. Okay. Find a safe place to put these bolts. Oh, it takes a couple minutes to pull these mufflers. Okay, another thing that's very noticeable, there's no dog on the inside. So that means I need to know whether this bolt down here is compromised, and in the Husky it's 2. This one up here is a bolt and a nut for that dog. Okay, so I know, and I can repair that if I have to, but what really gets you? Okay, number one, it's got a dog. The top of it's broke off. Okay, and it's not exactly straight. It's kind of bent up a little, but most importantly, it's real loose. Okay, see, that's pretty loose. That tells a lot of story right there, doesn't it? Okay, it's the little things sometimes, guys. But this had an impact. Impacts on these saws where bend the handle, break that chain brake flag off, sometimes do damage you can't tell in other places, okay? So be aware of that it might not all be physical. I've seen it where the whole top plastic and air cleaner cover was all mangled. And it's like, well, geez, got run over. I don't think I want that saw, but I'll get it anyway, knowing I got a pile. Well, then find out there's no other damage, or there might be. This is what happens. So it is You don't have a lot of time to decide how much money am I going to spend to get this into a good saw, and B, in the general condition it's going to be when I'm finished with the new parts, what's it going to be worth? You know, what's it going to be worth? I like the 44 a lot. I've made a lot of money logging with the 44. At that time, when these 44s were out, you had the 272 Husky, okay? That's what you had. Okay, now, I'm going to have to figure out how to get you in here to see what I'm seeing here. And what I'm going to do, okay, in this particular case, I'm expecting the front of the piston for scoring, especially down around the ring lands and down the skirt on the exhaust side, okay? This is what I'm looking for. In this particular case, I got to get a flashlight for you so you can see what I'm seeing. And it's right here, I promise, somewhere. It is right here. There it is. I told you I had it, didn't I? Okay. There's no scoring down across them rings and on that piston skirt. Okay, let me get the skirt up. Okay, I am looking on the intake side of the cylinder. Okay, the wear is on the exhaust side of the piston, intake side of the cylinder. Okay, this is a nice shiny cylinder. Okay, and you're never gonna see that thing. Okay, you can get it. Yeah, we can see it just a little bit. It's nice and shiny. You're looking for long scoring, fine scoring, anything like that. This has got, it's shined up really good. You can tell it's the original cylinder because of the wear, but it's smooth, polished wear. The motor, it's good. If I add scoring on the intake side of the cylinder and or just on the front of the piston on the exhaust side, I would look at least putting a piston in this, okay? And maybe changing the cylinder. Okay, so I don't have to put a piston in the cylinder to this. I already know this, okay? I've ran the saw, know that it's ring dingy, it has an air leak. It could be just the carburetor dirty, we know that. So, when you're taking the saw apart after you've purchased it, you're committed. Either A, fix it or don't. With that good of a cylinder piston, we're going to fix this. You know that. Okay, but what do we got to do to fix that? Okay, change brake flag. Going to have the oil pump off. Might as well put the new pickup tube going into the oil tank. Clean the oil pump, service that, make sure things are good there. And it's got a drive gear. Make sure the drive gears are good. I don't care what kind of saw this is. This ain't just for steel, it's any saw. And we're going to put new seals in the pickup tube, or in the discharge tube from the pump to the slot right here where the bar oil goes. We're just going to put that. That generally cures these oil leaks. Okay? They're done then. But I have more concerns. My body lines. Why is my body lines not out? Why are they so goofy? And how come this moves that much? Something has affected that motor mount, hasn't it? So, what I need to do is pull this bent handle off and see exactly what I'm dealing with. And that ain't gonna work. I need the green one. Oh, there was another thing to let you know that somebody's been there ahead of me and knew they had a problem. You see where your screwdriver slot is? You know that's sticking up? That's not, it's supposed to be snapped in flush. that was a big sign to me that somebody's tried to work on that. They've had it apart. When these get old, that particular part is rubber. It turns to the hardest, I don't know what it is you ever seen. You can't get them back in very easy. And they couldn't. So I knew that somebody had been working on this. No issue. I know what I'm dealing with. The problem with these particular saws, they've kind of got high in value because they were recognized as a pretty good saw. And they were very good saw. And so they bring more than they should. The 046 and MS 460, they're bringing $1,000 in halfway decent shape. And these are bringing similar money. Geez, that's a lot of money for a freaking 20-plus-year-old saw. You know what your darn problem is? You either buy a brand new saw and spend that money. That'll scare you. That really does. Or you take one of these and be willing to put money in it. Just be willing. So let's see what the heck. How much are we willing to do on this? This is what I want to know. Because I got a suspicion of something that I don't even want to talk about just yet. Okay. That handle went kaboing. Okay. I might try to manipulate that handle. Normally, it doesn't go well. Yep, just like I thought. Okay, I'm going to show you what's wrong. That handle bent so hard, it broke the plastic in the front of the tank that holds that motor mount. See that big crack right there? That's supposed to be perfectly straight. It's cocked around like this. Okay, that's affecting this motor mount terribly, okay? Here's the nice thing is, I actually have an epoxy that I can repair that with and not lose this tank, because it is a good tank. That's probably something I should show you. This is not the first time I've seen this on the steel saws. I'm going to tell you something. If you're looking at the Huskies, all of them, they got a way better mounting system. Their springs, they're absolutely fantastic. And let me go get a Husky tank real fast. I'll be right back. The steels have these cup mounts. Okay, this is the Husky front mount. That wouldn't have broke if that handle bent like that. That wouldn't have. It may have tore the bolt holes out right here. You can repair them. And then the rear tank mounts right here, that's a spring. If you could just take all the best features from these older Huskies and older steels and put them together, it would be such a crazy good saw, you'd never believe it. So, I am going to make the repair on that tank. And yes, it can be done, and it will hold. But when I do that, I am definitely putting a brand new handle in. I'm not going to try to straighten that one and put it into something that's been damaged. And when I get done, the tank will be perfect. I'm changing my gas tank and oil tank caps, put new ones in. I'm putting the seals in the oil pump, new chain brake flag on, general cleaning, and I'm changing the clutch side crankshaft seal. This is stuff that I know that half of it we've identified when we're looking at the saw to purchase it from the individual. Then you get it home. This is the once-overs you do. Another thing you're going to want to look at on any saw is the chain brake or the chain tensioner. Make sure that's fully operational. Sometimes they're broke and sometimes they're not. You'll notice because the pin that goes in the bar will be missing or cock wobbled around, or it's just plain stripped. In a Husky case, that's what I've seen. Steels, what you'll notice in the steels is that little pin right there is a problem. It'll just be gone. But tensioners are cheap. I recommend in either the steel or the Huskies, if you can do it, put an OEM one back in. That's an area that you kind of want something good there. Yeah, you can get a Chinesium one, and it's going to work for a little while. But long term, you're better off. Okay, the next thing you're going to do is you're going to pull your side cover off. Once you get through all this, pull that side cover, the chain cover, and you want to you're looking for your rope. That rope's not frayed. It's been in there a while, but it's not frayed. If it's frayed that far, commit to a new rope. Check in the steel, check them dogs. You got two little plastic dogs. There'll be a corner wore right off of them. Don't fight it, just put new dogs in. Husqvarna, you ain't got to worry about it. They're kind of a screw dog, and that works nice. They're better than the steel had. And then you'll have something that you can be proud of when you're done working on these. Now, this is all stuff any of you can do. This you don't have to be a chainsaw mechanic. Just if you're capable of putting a new spark plug in your lawnmower and making it run, you're probably, with a little tutorial, be able to make your saw in exactly this condition, barring that gas tank. That's got to come off. But you could run it that way, but I would know in my case, and I wouldn't like it. But it didn't stop it from being an operable chainsaw. Okay, so what can you get away with is really what the whole answer to that is, isn't it? And in this case, I don't want to get away with nothing. I just want a good saw when I'm done here, because I'm particularly fond of the 044 and the Huskies. I'm particularly fond of the 371s and 372s. So the 044 and 046 steel is a favorite, as well as the 371, 372 Husky. They're all equal favorites. I do not have a preference over either one. I've said in the past that if I had somebody with hard-on saws, I gave them a Husky because they'll take more yanking and pulling. They'll take more damage. If somebody was a little more precise with it and had some finesse, I'd give them a steel every time, and because they wouldn't damage it. On these steels, because of this mount system, you can actually pull that handle right off of the saw if you pull hard enough. You get excited because it's a tree's rotating and you got your bar in that, and you're hoping that just goes ahead and release, and you're yanking for all, you're going to end up with a handle in your hand. Husqvarna, no, you ain't pulling that handle off of them. Amazing, isn't it? Guys, in the last 2 years, I haven't made very many videos at all. If you're here to the end, you're a true blue follower. I love you. I appreciate you. I have went through a lot with this AFib. I'm done with that. I'm going. I had some damage to my heart that seemed to miraculously corrected itself. I don't know why. I have an aneurysm right in here in my belly from that main artery that feeds your lower part of your body. They initially were so worried about it, they was going to do surgery. And before any of that could actually happen, it's reducing itself. I'm out of danger. I haven't been able to run saws, and my workload around the house just piled right up, and vehicles broke. This April, I got going. I was able to work about an hour a day, and I did that. We've been doing a lot of work on the house that should have been done a long time ago. And I decided if I'm going to do YouTube, I better get to my affairs in order in my home front first. So that's what I've been doing. Now I'm working fairly much a full day, accomplished thing, and I'm trying to beat the winter. I did it. I accomplished my goals for inside work. Outside work's taken care of. Just now I got to maintain. you're going to expect to see me in the saw shop a lot this winter. So we are going to be pumping out some videos. And this is going to be a project. We still have some steels to build. We still have some really cool Husqvarnas, like Buck and Billy's 371. Remember how long ago that was? It's sitting right behind me in a box. I have been puttering with it recently, and we will be getting this back together and run it. I'm not going to show the videos that run it. I'm going to let Buck do that and get that back to the man. He's a good friend. He's been very patient. And there's a couple other guys. I want to thank you through all this. It's been hard what I've dealt with, but I'm not complaining. Everybody's got their kryptonite, right? And I got mine, and you do too. We just get through these things together. I appreciate the concern you guys have shown. I hope that I can make it up by giving you good, valuable content you're going to like. Okay. I have a personal project that has got to be done. Actually, I got started in April. Right there, under that bag, is a 302, 1969 302 Chevy block. Believe it? Okay, what's going on? I'm building an old man truck, okay? That is what I wanted in it. That's my choice. I've had that motor for 40 years. I am going to build that. I am using aluminum heads. I decided not to use the original heads onto it because it was easier for me to get what I wanted with aluminum heads. But we'll probably paint them because we want to hide that, right? It's a 78 Chevy short box step side. It's a nice truck. We'll get into that at some point so I get a few of these saws done. I'm going to build this with a cross ram intake. 2 4 barrels on a 302. Twin turbos. I have everything to build this right here. When you can't work and you're sick, you can still spend money, and that's what I did. So I went and bought everything for this little project as far as the motor. I haven't decided what transmission or anything I want to run, but I've got the right truck. I really can't wait for you to see the direction I went. Now, what's going to be cool with this 302 personal project is I've built so many race motors for other people and a few for me. The things that I learned from the performance industry and automotive that we've transferred to chainsaws, which I've shared a bunch of that with you, and why. This motor in particular has got a whole bunch of little tricks that they're just old school tricks. It isn't nothing crazy that we use in these saws, okay? And it isn't just 2-stroke and 4-stroke is still a motor. It has to have timing events, get air in and out, fire when it's supposed to, get rid of the exhaust. So there is things that translate quite nicely, and then there's some that doesn't, okay? I want to be able to get my whiteboard out and explain what's going on, why this general engine knowledge can be shared, okay? It can be shared between different types of motors, and that's really important to know. And as you know, I've preached for work saws, porting them is not the numbers game you think. It's about flow characteristics, okay? What is going on there? The same thing with these automotive engines. It's about airflow and air management, air fuel management. It's no different. Your pistons, your valve, and a 2-stroke, obviously, and a 4-stroke, we have in this case, a pair of valves. And then a camshaft. Your camshaft isn't really here. It's in your ports. You determine in a 360-degree circle when them ports open and close. That's like having a bigger or a smaller camshaft. Okay? This is the way it is. The lift equation is taken out with a chainsaw, in a way. But I'm going to show you how to get air through these darn little motors. And I think this year we need to build a couple actual race saws so you can see the huge difference that from a work saw, which is what I really like the best, to a full race saw. I wouldn't use a full race saw to cut one block of firewood. I hate the damn things. But when you're trying to make 3 time cuts, and that's all you're trying to do with that, you better have it together. Really do. Okay. Thank you so much for listening. We'll follow along as is pertinent, and I have the parts available to do the repairs necessary on this saw. I'll pop in once in a while, and then we'll be able to see where I've made out with this and what did I really have to do. Did I hit everything the first time? Was my initial assessment of the saw when I first seen it correct? So far, yes. We're not done yet. Thank you. Goodbye.